Chatter Gang, a pod about the magic in the gathering. I'm your host Beacon, but you can call me Jose, and we thank you for being here today. Just remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, do all those things because you love being here and we love you being here. We want to make sure we can talk to you about all of this. And I especially want to talk to you today about today's guest. She's okay, say it with me. She's one of my favorite people in the world. Yes, I know. I say that she is. She legitimately, this is one of my in real life friends. Someone that has a love for Magic, for Pokemon, for D&D. And I was thinking about this. I was, in Magic, the party is cleric, rogue, warrior, wizard. But I feel like for this person, if they were to make a party, it would be cat, dog, fairy, and of course, elf. MTG, how you doing? Would you agree with that party
I you
assessment?
know, I I think that's actually a pretty good assessment. For dog, I was thinking about dogs. I think it's pretty good. Like I love dogs. For the longest time, I thought I wanted a corgi. Like I really thought I was like, I'm not gonna get a cat. Like I'm gonna get a corgi. And then it turns out that I am now mom to three cats. Will I ever own a dog? I don't know. Because that
Doesn't mean
means
you
I
don't
have to
love
go
them.
out. It doesn't mean I don't love them, but then I was like, I have to go outside in the cold. But I do. I
Yeah,
do love dogs. It's kind of like babies, you know? It's like
yeah,
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 they're very cute to look at, but I don't think I would want one at this point of my life. Not to say I don't
yeah,
love dogs. I do love dogs.
yeah.
But yeah,
You love
I would say
other
you're
people's
pretty good.
dogs.
Yeah, I do love other people's dogs.
Yeah, just like
Um,
babies, you love other people's dogs.
yeah, what
That's
an
a fair game.
intro.
Yeah. So, Keegs, again, thank you so much for being. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I'm really excited. We this is so breaking the fourth wall a little bit here, the behind the scenes curtain thing. Keegs and I tried to plan this recording months ago,
Oh my
months
gosh.
ago, and something came up, and then we tried to plan it again, and then something else came up, and then life got busy. Life got
I'm
busy.
sorry.
Keegs is one of the no, nothing to apologize for. Keegs is one of the busiest people I think I know, along with her friend, and something we're going to talk about later. Also, one of the busiest people I know. It's just amazing how much stuff you do. Can you do like a slight breakdown of all the? You don't have to do like the whole like day by day thing, but like, can you talk about all the things that you actually do on a weekly basis?
Yeah, it's really funny though because like as you were saying, like so Lil, our mutual friend, I actually saw her on Thursday and she essentially asked me the same question. She was like, "So what does your next week look like?" And I legitimately listed off something that I'm doing every single day for like the next week and a half. And I was like, I really need to stop doing so many things. So essentially, I'm in like two D&D campaigns. One is run every single Tuesday. So my Tuesdays are always blocked off. The other one is like every other Monday. So every other Monday is blocked off. And then I have my Thursdays blocked off because that's when, we get together. We try to play Magic or board games or just, other things with the friend group. I have another group that I sometimes play Magic with, and that tends to be like a every other Wednesday situation. And then I have my Twitch streams, and those are Fridays and Sundays. And then Saturdays is like the one day that like doesn't have anything actually blocked on it, but it tends to end up being for things like this where like, I'm able to do other things where excuse me, whether it is, you know, doing podcasts with, other creators or maybe being on other people's streams or if I'm just lucky I get to go grocery shopping or cleaning the house or like relaxing.
Wait. You have to
Um
do adult things?
I
What?
have to do adult things. I know, it really sucks.
Ew.
Yeah, so but I mean, it is crazy, like, how much stuff I have planned, like, within a week, and I have my 9 to 5 within all of that too. So, it is honestly exhausting, and to to think that, like, a year ago, I would do my day job, get off of work, sit on the couch, and, like, read a book.
Yeah,
That
it's
was my
been
life.
I was gonna say it's a year and a little under 2 months, so about a month and a half, right? Like,
Well, so it's been a year since I started playing Magic. I didn't start the content creator journey until about the end of May. It was very, very close to
yeah,
my birthday is when I decided I wanted to like start getting into like the TikTok space. And that was just because
yeah.
my husband was really tired of me just yapping about Magic to him because Magic is like a side project to him. He plays it whenever he's able to. But I like really got into the game. And so the idea was just to, meet other people and just yap into the void and hope that other people wanted to listen and maybe wanted to be friends. And obviously it worked to some capacity. I mean, now I'm friends with you.
I'm very thankful
And
for that.
yeah, I'm too. But now we're here, and it's kind of crazy just how far it's come in less than a year.
Yeah. It's also interesting to think that your very first post talking about just being 3 months in the hobby, like, blew up, right?
Yeah, well, so I because there was a post. I remember there was a post about like SCG Con,
Yeah.
and that got like quite a few views. But my first post, well, my first post, I think, because TikTok always pushes out like your very first post,
Yeah.
and that
Wait,
was
is that what's supposed to happen?
I think that's what's supposed to happen. Cause that first one, I think it was about Bello, and it was about, like, cards that I had, like, put into Bello and, like, why I really liked Bello. Cause that got, like, 23,000 views, and I was like, "Oh my god, like, that's insane." And then everything after that got, like, a couple hundred, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, that tracks." Cause
But you
I
but
know
you can
the
always hang your hat on that. That's really cool.
I mean, it is. Like, I mean, and that really, I think, helped like get those, first couple hundred, people to actually follow me, which is fantastic. But the post that blew up after that was, I think, 6 months being into the hobby and
Mhm.
things that I had learned after being 6 months into the hobby. And I was
Yep.
really shocked, like, how much that blew up and like got traction.
It seems like you were really connecting with people who were either new-ish to the hobby or were just really interested in learning about other people's journeys, which, I mean, that's not the reason I followed you. I followed you because you just have really good takes on art, which we'll talk about that a little bit. It's your art takes because I think you have really good art takes and card takes and like specialty art card takes. But I think you really hit like really well with those people who were also very new to it, and you have a really good aesthetic also.
Yeah, I try really hard with the like aesthetic portion. That's something I'm pushing myself like further with now
Hmm.
is trying to, like, solidify an aesthetic. I think to me that's important, is having, like, a vision and kind of like, that I guess a mood, right, around, like,
Yeah,
what you're posting. So when someone, like, looks at your page, they're like, "Okay, like, that's what this person is about." It really kinda sets, like,
yeah,
the tone for what your content is. But, yeah, going back to talking about what you were saying with people kinda connecting with, like, the
yeah,
journey aspect of it. That was something that was important to me and is still incredibly important to me, is
yeah,
connecting with those people that are just starting to get into magic or, or I guess interested in the journey and what it looks like from, starting out to, a year in, 2 years in. I mean, granted, I'm not that far yet. Like I said, I just hit a year. But this game is so vast and there's so much to learn. It
mhm,
looks very intimidating. I mean,
it does.
hell, even a year in, there's still portions of this game that I go, I don't know what the hell that does. I don't know how these interactions work. Like, sure, you're gonna tell me that's how that works. I'm gonna nod my head and go, okay, sure. Like, I'm not gonna question you. You've been playing longer than me. I'm gonna assume you know what you're talking about. But I know that, like, when I started my journey, I looked to those content creators on, Instagram and TikTok to try to figure out, is this something that I'm willing to put the time and the energy into? And so that's something that's still really important to me to this day, is
Yeah.
trying to help, I guess, guide and convince people that yes, it is. Like, this is something that is worth it. It's something that's a lot of damn fun. So,
I think that makes a lot of sense, and it also resonates with what you're doing, trying to do in our area with your new venture with Lil, Heart State Magic. You're from what I'm understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong on anything with this. You're trying to bring more women into Magic because it's something that's super important. More gender nonconforming, non-binary people, giving a safe space, helping them learn to play the game because it can be very even me who I've been playing, on and off since the 90s. Yes, I know I'm old, everyone. Thank you. I've been playing on and off since I just hear Greenie in the background saying, "I was born after 9/11." Anyway, so it was even for me, I still don't understand a lot of things that happen, and I have to look it up or I have to ask people who know better, which is why shout out to Brad and Steph, Steel City MTG, who know like everything judge-wise. But Heart State Magic is something that seems like a very big step in your journey of trying to help people, especially people who are more marginalized, get into magic.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited to kind of bring Heart State Magic to life. When I first started getting into kind of magic and also, I guess, more of that content creator zone, I guess you can say, and learning about like women in magic, like as an organization, that was something that I always wanted to eventually get to the point that I could do. It was always like a dream in the back of my mind was, how do I bring this to my area? I had always wanted to try to get like a little event together, whether it was, at the local card shop that I was currently playing at, but I never really knew how to bring it to fruition until one day, I was talking to Lil, and Lil kind of voiced the same thing that I was thinking of, talking about how, she also wanted to try to get an event together. And I'm just lucky enough that, we were able to put something together. It worked out, and there was even more individuals that reached out to that shop after the fact that wanted to see another event in the area just like it. And we were like, okay, like this is something that we can do. And so we decided to form Heart State Magic. And yeah, the whole concept behind it is to bring, women and gender nonconforming individuals, those people that, are kind of the minorities in magic when it comes to gender,
Mhm.
and try to give them a space where they're going to feel welcome and included, and a space where they don't have to worry about being mansplained to. And especially for me, it's for those new players. It's what I would have loved to see when I was getting into the game, because I did an autistic amount of research essentially, specifically for my area, trying to figure out where is a safe place to go to play this game.
Yeah.
Because I had done a little bit of, playing on Arena, but Arena could only get you so far. And you really need to have those personal connections. And, I wanted to play Commander. Like Arena doesn't really give you that experience.
Yeah.
And I reached out to Reddit. Like, I mean, that's where I was at. I was making Reddit posts on like our city subreddit being like, where can a female, LGBTQ member go and play Magic and essentially be safe as someone who doesn't know anything about this game? And I was very lucky that people reached out and said, hey, like, these are the places where I would go. And they were correct. Like, that's where I played for a very long time. But the idea behind this group is to make those spaces more available, and to also, I guess, help LGSs gain the resources of how to, I guess, market themselves more available to individuals that might be, I guess, concerned about, where can they go? And just also bring awareness to the fact that playing Magic as a woman or as someone who, doesn't identify as a
Mhm.
man can be really intimidating and really scary. I mean, even as people who have played Magic for a while, can walk into a room and heads immediately turn, and you kind of have to learn how to navigate that. And so being to be able to talk to LGSs and, be able to provide them the resources for, more, women nights or just other events that they could hold. And I'm hoping that maybe this spreads outside of just me and Lil being able to provide the nights. Maybe we're able to spread it so that way other people in the organization possibly, or just other
Yeah.
LGSs are able to, host nights themselves, and just
Yeah.
get more people into the game.
Yeah. And realizing that this is a demographic that they've been neglecting, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, exactly. And Hasbro and their whole like, oh, we need more women into Magic. Let's, get some romanticy cards out here. Like, Yeah, cool. Yeah, we'll spend more money, I guess, but, like, that's not the problem.
Yeah, I know.
And, like
I was say I know you've been itching to put that bullet in the chamber. So please go off,
oh my
queen.
god, they just Hasbro's been driving me insane recently. Like,
Hmm.
they've been driving me so much insane that I went on, like, a ban on buying new product for, like, a month and a half.
Good
'Cause
timing
I was
since
just
Ninja Turtles was something.
since I think it was honestly, like, since the end of Lorwyn, I bought all of my
Yeah.
Lorwyn stuff, and then I said, "I'm done." It was actually when they made their announcement that they were re-upping well, it was Hasbro specifically. I know people are going to argue about the whole, like, Hasbro's the parent entity and, like, they have no control or Wizards of the Coast has no control over Hasbro, which is, like, is fine. But it was ever since they had their re-up of their contract with Wizarding World. I just had to
Mhm.
step away for a second, and I went, "You know what?" I was like, "I have to draw the line in the sand somewhere." And so I really needed to, like, reevaluate, like, priorities because
Yeah.
Hasbro is still gaining money from people buying Magic products,
Mhm.
and they're still continuing to give money to a turf. And
Yeah.
so it's difficult, you know, because you still want to support Magic, you know, you still want to receive good products, but when we continue to see issues in production, when we continue to see them give us lackluster products in our in-universe sets, when they continue to and I have no problem with Universes Beyond to an extent. I think, you
Extent, yeah.
know, Universes Beyond is fine. I think the amount that they're pushing it is a problem, but I guess that's a different conversation.
I mean,
But when they
you're welcome to have it, but yeah.
I know, but when they continue to push all of the, like, really powerful, fantastic, like, power creep cards only really into the Universes Beyond sets, and
Mhm.
that's where I have to play them. It's like I have to put, like, turtle cards into my decks if
Mhm.
I really want these fantastic, you know, like, abilities, and I don't really I didn't grow up with the turtles. Like, I just didn't watch them. Like, they were around,
Mhm.
obviously, when I was growing up, but, like, that's not where I spent my time. Like, that's not what I wanna put into my decks.
Yeah.
So, it gets difficult.
Yeah. Do you play other formats other than Commander?
So, Lil has been trying to get me into Canadian Highlander, so I guess
Yep.
shout out Lil.
Always shout out
And
a friend.
a friend of the pod. And I do like Canadian Highlander. I need to actually, like, get a deck together for it. I just keep borrowing decks, which is fine, but, like, they're not my decks.
Yeah.
Um, and I play Plane Chase with, like, the other group, which is
Mhm.
fine. I enjoy Play Chase.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think there's some games that go better than others, obviously, because of, like, the randomness of it all.
Yeah.
I think that, like, obviously, some decks perform better with Plane Chase than
Oh,
others,
yeah.
and I've
Oh,
learned
yeah.
that just, like, very, very recently with, like,
Mhm.
Yigra. Like, I tried to play Yigra with Plane Chase, and that went incredibly poorly.
Yeah.
Um, and that makes you feel a little bad because you're like, "This deck is not a bad deck. Like,
No,
this
no, no,
deck
no,
is a
no, no, no.
really great deck." But
Really
in
fantastic deck.
but in this specific like style and this
Yeah.
specific, you know, like format,
Yeah.
it it's not good.
Yeah.
Just because of the way I have specifically built her to play.
And Plane
But
Chase
those
is
are
very chaotic.
it's so chaotic. So, like, you know, it's because Yigra is built a lot on combos, the way
Mhm.
I've built her. So you'll be trying to build your combo pieces, and all of a sudden it's a board wipe, and you're like, well, okay, now I'm set back. Like, Yigra is very optimized to win by, like, turn 5, and then all of a sudden you're, you know, like 3 planes in, and everything's blown up, and you're like, well, okay, here we go. It's
Yeah.
rebuilding again. But yeah, those are kind of the main formats I play. I want to get into more like 60 card. Like, I have actually been
Mhm.
playing like Arena a lot more recently, and I've
Mhm.
actually been really enjoying it. But in paper, I just can't afford it.
That's wholeheartedly fair. And Arena makes it a lot easier, obviously, because like you just open random packs and you get like gold cards for wild cards, and then you can do whatever. The reason
Yeah.
I ask is so recently the professor put out a video talking about how within the last since I think it was 2019, maybe 2020, they have put out. So before that, they per year we would get like 700 new cards. per year, right?
Okay.
Because we were doing 4 sets, whatever. Since that time frame, again, I think it's 2020, we've been getting 1,922 new cards per year.
Ooh, that's
Um,
insane.
it's insane, right? Exactly. So it's already
Oh, you
hard
can't
enough.
even, like, memorize that, like
Exactly. You were talking about earlier, like there's already so much you have to remember in Magic. If you're brand new, if every year, like you're new to all the cards that have already existed prior to this, then every year you're playing, there's not just like not 1,000 or not 1,922 cards printed, 1,922 unique newly named cards printed every year. Like, what? That's so much.
That's
And then for
ridiculous.
almost all of them to be in standard,
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think them and I have no skin in this game, so I feel like me saying this, like, it doesn't mean much, but I think them putting UB into standard was a horrible mistake.
it's a lot because
It's a lot.
the
Yeah, it
meta
changes the
either
meta so quickly.
or it's like this set is useless and then it just goes back to the meta and the meta never changes. So it's
Mhm.
like because like, they do the bans for like how much do you pay attention to standard? Because I don't often play standard, but I pay attention to it a little bit.
I pay attention to it. I let me
Right.
say this, I try to pay attention to it. I don't watch it as much as
Yeah.
I know I should, but I pay
Okay.
attention to the bands, I try to pay attention to the meta, but I don't
Same.
watch the events as much as I know I should.
Same, to be honest. But like you look at something like Vivi came out. They had to
Mhm.
nuke it pretty quick after. Nadu comes out, or for modern specifically, Nadu comes out. They had to nuke it immediately, but that was a R&D issue, right? So
Yep.
it goes back to like we have 1,900 new cards a year. It goes back to what you talked about earlier with like production issues and like issues with the cards. I think you had some issues with the link card. Like was it bending or was it scraping for yours?
So I had a commander deck. My oh gosh,
Blight,
my
the Auntie
my
Ul?
blight deck. Yeah, my auntie. Ooh, thank you. I was gonna say my Jen deck. I couldn't remember like
Yeah.
her name. She came in. First of all, the commanders were incredibly dark, which I knew was an issue that they were having, and then all of the cards in that deck were also blurry. So that was really disappointing. And then I also I the other issue, which I mean, granted, like cards curl, foils curl, they started curling immediately. Just like out of the box, you could see them start to pringle, and I was just like, "This is crazy. This is ridiculous."
Mhm. It's it shouldn't happen that way, right? The curling thing has been a thing forever and it's annoying and it should never happen in the first place. But for cards that come out blurry and like odd looking and things like that, not to mention that they had the Ninja Turtle cards come out in some pre-releases. Not to mention that
Oh
recently,
my god.
recently,
Yes.
recently, they had a Strixhaven card
The Strixhaven cards. Oh my god.
in the Ninja Turtle packs, and
Did you see the recent, like, release too that they put out about the secret layers and, like, their production issues?
oh,
That
can
drove
you
me
tell
up
me
a
about it?
wall. Yeah, so they yesterday, actually, they did a little, like, post on their blog stating that, "Hey, guys, like, we've heard you complain about, like, our production issues and your wait times, and we hear you. We found where the issue is in our, like, production chain, and we're working with, like, our manufacturers to fix it. And because of that, like, we've pushed back some of our upcoming releases, not Deadpool, but some of
Okay.
our other ones we've pushed back, but you're still going to experience some issues on shipping even with the pushbacks. Just giving you a heads up." And then they proceeded to talk about Dan Dan and how this didn't affect Dan Dan. It was super successful, and they were so excited about how great the queue went for that drop. And I'm like, yeah, the queue was great because it got sold out in 30 minutes, so it was only a 30-minute queue because then no one could get what they wanted.
Yeah.
And
It
it's
goes back
super
to the
dumb
like
tough.
it goes back to the if they can do the charity stuff print to order, why can't they do the other stuff print to order?
Well,
you
and the
know?
thing is, they had that whole like sit down like conversation, what, like 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, where
Mhm.
they specifically talked about why they weren't doing print to order. And they were like, oh, it's because we can get your stuff printed and shipped out to you quicker if we do this like artificial scarcity bullshit.
Yeah.
But then you're gonna go and immediately after that have production issues that are essentially causing us to not get our stuff
Mhm.
for the same amount of time as it would be if it was just print on demand.
Mhm.
Like, that's what pisses me off.
Yep. I
Anyways.
it makes no sense, especially like it's like they're talking out both sides of their mouth, right?
Mm,
And the other thing, and tell me what you think about this. The other thing that doesn't make sense with the scarcity, the false scarcity thing, is what how does that benefit them? Like how I don't understand how that benefits them. It benefits the secondary market,
and I
and
fully think they have, like, a hand somewhere in that secondary market.
really,
Like, I don't know, like, I call me, like I'm a huge conspiracy theorist.
yeah.
I like
Hey,
I don't
hey,
know.
hey, I got a big conspiracy theory, so I'm all about hearing about them.
I love that. I look at conspiracy theories all the time. Like I used to listen to Mysterious Universe. Not as much anymore because they started getting like a real wacky and like into like some like crazy shit and it started to like really like mess with my mental health and I had to like step away.
Yeah, that's fair.
But back when it was all like, Bigfoot and like actual UFO stories and things like that, I
Yeah.
was all about it. But I really do think that they have to somewhere have a hand in the secondary market or like and some investors do because why would they want to create like the artificial
Yeah.
scarcity? Like I
Well,
understand that like they need the products to sell because they don't just want extra products sitting around, but if it's print on demand, they wouldn't.
exactly. What was the company that was like falsely like they were sending stuff to places and then it wouldn't even make it out onto the floor before like people would like quote unquote buy it in the back. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if I do.
So there was a company. I have to look it up. Maybe Jace will send it to me here shortly. But it was a company who was like sending packs, and I don't remember if it was like sports cards or Pokemon or whatever. They would send it to stores,
Oh,
and
okay. I
then
think I kind of remember
do you remember
this.
this? And then they would like basically the stuff would never actually make it out onto the floor. Like it would make it to the back, and then it would already be like gone from the inventory. And it was like apparently they were working with some company to make sure the stuff got bought so that it could go quicker on the secondary market, which is really
That
fucked
is
up.
like a vague memory, but yes.
And it sounds like it sounds very familiar to what you're talking about with Wizards. Like, I hope that's not the case, and maybe that's like maybe it's a Hasbro thing doing it instead. Blah blah blah. You know, the Daddy
Mhm.
Hasbro being a whole problem in and of itself. But yeah, I don't I haven't thought about that. I think it's not unreasonable. I just hope that's not the case. I guess.
Yeah, I like you would hope that like that's not it, but like I wouldn't put it past them somewhere in the line to like
Yeah.
be something that's happening.
I think that's fair. Well, let's talk about a good part of the magic sphere, which is the art. And I think, like I've said, I think you have a really good eye for art. And like even in your first video where you show some of the cards you have like amazing cards that have just spectacular art. What is it about art for you? And again, with your aesthetic, like you're really good at making your content and having it look good. What is it about the art and the vibes and things like that that attract you so much?
So I've always been some type of an artist. Like art has always been part of my life in some way, shape, or form. It's actually what I went to college for. I went to college for animation. Obviously, that's not what I'm doing now, and I don't know if it's what I would want to be doing now with the way that like everything is in the animation world. There's a bunch of layoffs and
Mhm.
with AI. So, I mean, that's another topic. But I adore art. I like doing art on the side. And just good art to me is just so, inviting and pleasing. And I just love to look at it. It just makes me, it's one of those
Yeah.
things that just makes your heart happy, right?
Yeah.
And it's what drew me to magic in the first place. I remember at the time I was actually looking to sell my Pokemon collection. And on TikTok, I was getting a whole bunch of like, Coop's collectible videos and things like that. And it was when Bloomborough was coming out. And so some Bloomborough videos started showing up on my feed. And I saw someone open a Bloomborough pack and they pulled the borderless, like full art version of Maha in like the field art version,
So
and
so gorgeous.
something about that card just absolutely blew me away, and I legitimately couldn't stop thinking about Magic like since that moment.
Wow.
And so like just good art can really bring you into the story because magic the thing about magic is it's not just about the game, right? Like we have stories that are built into the sets and get to like, really pull us into what's happening in like the planes and the multiverse, like in a whole different, fashion. And the artwork on the cards get to help expand on that story. Whether people want to dive into that aspect or not, you get to kind of choose. But it not only helps explain the card or get to show off an aspect of the card, but also helps kind of push us into that world and that story that they're trying to tell for that set. And so I really love looking at the artwork that they put out and, seeing where it's trying to essentially like push us with the story and tell us what's going on in the world. And especially when you line it up with like the flavor text a lot of the time, it just turns into like a whole little, page of a book essentially like on this piece of cardboard. And it's really beautiful to me.
Yeah, and the one art that we talked about, you talked about the Maha. I know a card you wanted. I think you still haven't gotten it yet, and anyone who has it, hit Keegs up. Is the Igra?
Oh, yes. I want that Yigra, that full art Yigra so badly. I keep ripping Bloomborough and I cannot pull her for the life of me, which is it's fine. Her price keeps going up too, which is also pissing me off. It's fine. I will get her eventually.
It's
The I
fine.
it's fine. The field note cards, in particular, that art style, which they brought back for
Yeah,
Avatar, I was so excited to see it brought back.
it
I
looks really, really
really
cute.
love that. I think it is such a wonderful way to kind of, accentuate like animals in particular. I think it's really fun. I was
Yeah.
like I was really into just like animals in general as a kid, but
Mhm.
like zoology and things like that. So like it just has like that extra special place in my heart. That like sketchiness of it all, that idea
Yeah.
of essentially like trying to capture the essence of a beast is just really cool.
Would you say that it is your favorite alternate art style?
Ooh, that one's tough actually.
Because if we go through recent memory, like there was the obviously Avatar had the feel art, but they also had the special like $1,000 card ones, which I love. The
The
ones where
neon
the
ones.
neon ones, those are
I'm
so good.
I'm actually not a fan of the neon.
Really? Why? Okay, why?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It feels very like pop art,
Okay, so
which
you're not
which
into
is
pop art.
fine,
Okay.
but like I'm not a huge fan of it personally. Like it feels very like black light, like skate rink type of like. It's okay, like it's fine, but it's just not something that it is like personally my style.
Okay, that's fair. I would disagree because I think they're fantastic, but art is subjective, right? Art is subjective.
Art is
So
subjective, and that's what's so great about it, right?
yeah. Okay, so they had that. They had the Spider-Man comic styles. They had Edge of Eternities, like the space, the like in outer space ones, right?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy had like the full body. I don't know what kind of art you would call that, but the full body ones. Tarkir had that, in my opinion, weird like super dark background ones. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like where it was
No,
like,
actually,
yeah, you should, because it's like a pop of
no, I
color
do.
is
I
like
do remember. No, because I remember thinking they were gonna bring that back for Avatar, because I thought that that was like a pretty interesting way to show off the elements,
okay.
and so I
Yeah, okay. If it was for
yeah.
the elements, that would make more sense.
Yes, I really thought that that's what they were gonna do, and they were gonna bring that back for like the characters and really like show it as a way to like bring out like the idea and the concept of the elements, and then they didn't, and I
Yeah.
was actually kind of sad about that one because I have that version of like Nature's Rhythm, and I
Yeah.
love that card. I think it's a beautiful card. I don't think it's
Hmm.
like my favorite of like the special art styles, but I
Yeah.
do actually like it because I think it's a
Okay.
great way to show off specific elements of a card.
Okay. I think that's fair. I think if it was like elements, like if they actually would have done that with elements with Avatar, I'd probably be more in on it. It's just
Mhm.
for Tarkir, it felt odd to me. I don't know. It just
That's fair. Some cards did it better than others.
yeah, like I think of the Craterhoof behemoth, and it just feel I don't know. It feels odd,
It
but
feels
yeah, maybe because Craterhoof is so big in comparison, and then it's just like a bunch of black, and you don't see as much color. I don't know, but let's see. They also had the Aether Drift, like like new school tattoo style art,
oh, yeah,
which is
that's right.
something. Innistrad posters, Duskmorn, super creepy, like full art things, but also super cute animals.
Yeah, the Dustborn ones, I don't know how I feel about those because those were the ones that were kind of like the black with, like, the dual image.
Yeah.
That one yeah, that was interesting. I
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about those in particular. I feel like there's some that I like better than others. I get the
Yeah.
aesthetic that they were going for, but I don't know if it came out exactly the way I would have liked it because I feel like it's hard to
Okay.
focus on the image.
Yeah. That's fair. I think that's also fair. I like them enough. I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
a lot, but enough.
Now the
Oh, there's
Innistrad
also
poster ones, I
you like those
love
ones?
those. Those are good.
I was gonna say you have the Olivia, right?
I did pull the Olivia. I should say
Yeah.
it was my husband that pulled the Olivia because he's the one that pulls all the good cards in this
Yeah,
household.
you so you pulled the Olivia, that's fine.
Yeah, I pulled it. It's fine. I did it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was gonna say, and I know, like, I don't know how far back you've gone, but like, well, I know you love wilds, so those cards, they have the tails and the
The
animes.
Enchanted Tales, I love the Enchanted that might be one of my favorites. It's that one is definitely up there. That is
Yeah,
one of the reasons why I've, like, debated and, like, I know I shouldn't do this. I've debated, like, getting a box of Eldraine just to try to get more of those because I love that style, that
I do
very,
too.
like, whimsical, almost, like, paper cutout style. Oh my god, it's so pretty.
Yeah, I think both the I think they did a really good job with both the anime and the wild
Yes.
wow,
That
I
is
just said the word and I forgot the word now that I just used.
the Enchanted Tales.
Enchanted Tales, thank you. The
Mhm.
Enchanted Tales, just because like it's all two different art styles with two beautiful art styles.
Yeah, even the anime on those, because typically the anime ones, I'm, like, really 50-50 on. It really
Mhm,
depends, like, on the card, I feel like.
mhm,
But, yeah, in Wilds of Eldraine, I even the anime ones, I'm like, "They're so
yeah.
pretty." Like, they did such a good
Yeah.
job.
And I know everyone leans toward the Smothering Tithe because ooh woo, whatever. But
Yeah.
my Defense of the Heart,
Oh my god. Yeah, that I was looking at the other day.
Necropunch is also good, yeah.
I was like, "It's so, so good."
Yeah. And then do you have any of the because the field art ones remind me of the March of the Machines, the schematic. They kind of remind me of the schematics. Did you ever?
Yes, I really like the schematic style. I it's very similar. You're right. It's very similar, and I love that style as well.
Okay. Would you what is okay, so here's a question, random question out of nowhere. That's what this is an interview. What is one card that you don't already have other than Egra, because we just talked about Egra, that if you could get price not being an issue that you would right now?
Oh my god, I have two.
Okay.
I was actually thinking about this. I figured you'd ask this question, so I was thinking about it. Am I allowed to give two answers?
You are allowed to give two answers and stop knowing me so well that you knew I was going to ask this in the interview when I didn't even know. What the heck? I'm
I
joking. Go
know.
ahead.
Okay, the first one, just because like it's so expensive right now, and the prices I think finally stabilizing, and I've been debating if it's worth it, is the brand new Oscillate Pride by Rhonda
Oh my
Libby.
god.
Yeah, that was the store promo for the RCQ. I love Rhonda Libby's artwork. She has a very unique style, and she's
Yeah.
also incredibly sweet. I've interacted with her on TikTok. She's such an incredibly sweet person. And I of course it's cats. I love my cats. And I'm so happy for her that she got to do that promo. And it's a very, very cute card. And
So
it's
cute.
I know, and it's sitting at around like $212 right now,
Yeah.
which is a hefty penny. So I would say that one just because like I love my cats. I want to eventually try to collect like all the cat cards,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be one that's pretty difficult I think to get just because
Mhm.
like dropping that much money on a card like makes my heart hurt a little bit.
Yeah,
Um
that should be like a trade in like all the things you've never touched kind of situation.
exactly. Exactly. The other one that has been on my list for a very long time that I'm hoping to pick up sometime this year
Okay.
is the full art, like a borderless demonic tutor from
The J
Commander.
art,
What
not the J art.
the Commander Masters one?
Commander Master. I gotta look this up then.
I love Donato Giancola. He's one of my
I know you
favorite
do. Yeah.
artists. His work is absolutely phenomenal, and I could literally go on a rant about this man.
Oh, this okay. Okay, I see
Yeah,
which
the
one
one
you're
with the
talking
D.
about now. Holding her head.
Yes, because not only do I love the artwork, I think the artwork is really beautiful. I think the lighting is phenomenal. I got the playmat from Donato's storefront, so it's signed, and that makes me so happy. I
Awesome.
love the flavor text on this card. To some extent, I believe it says something about like,
As I have it in front of me, if you want
do
me
you
to
want to
read it.
read it? Yeah, because
Yes, ma'am.
it's so good.
Is the knowledge really forbidden because it is dangerous to you, or perhaps because it is dangerous to those who seek to control you?
Yeah, I just like.
That's
Oh, I love it.
that's a bar.
Yeah.
That's a
Uh,
bar. I was gonna say
uh,
it's funny. Someone mentioned the J demonic tutor art last week. The one that's the Strixhaven Japanese. So
yes,
just people just love
the
demonic tutor with the
It's
demon.
I mean, it's such a good card. Yeah, the ink one, it
Yeah,
looks like it's yeah, that is a really good card, and that is a really beautiful card.
it looks like
But
for those who know tattoos, it looks like Trash Panda is literally what it looks like.
that version by Donato is my favorite, and
That's
it's
really good.
one of my favorite. I mean, this will probably come up in like one of the final questions, but that is one of my favorite cards like of all time, just because of the artwork on it and how like the entire story kind of comes together on that card.
That's
Um,
cool.
but
That's really really cool.
Yeah, but Donato unfortunately doesn't work with Wizards anymore because they apparently did him wrong on a contract, which I'm really sad about. Yeah, and he's recently done work for a Lord of the Rings project, which means that he would have been perfect to do work for The Hobbit. And now we're not going to get his work on the Hobbit set, and I'm really upset about that.
Dude, come on, Wizards. Come on,
I
Hasbro.
know,
What are you doing?
I
Also,
know.
Trash Polka, not Trash Panda. I conflating with Bello over here. Trash
Wow, how
Polka
dare
is the art style. How dare I talk about
how
Bello?
dare you? How dare you talk about my
How dare I
boy?
talk about Bello? Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that the whole art thing is a whole nother thing. I think you and I could literally just talk about how Hasbro and Wizards have like fumbled and for like hours. I feel like we could talk about that for hours.
Yeah,
But what I will say
unfortunately.
is this art is fantastic. I agree with that wholeheartedly. What the other thing is you talk about like you did animation, you do, like it feels like well, okay, actually I'm just gonna ask you, how long have you been a nerd?
My whole life?
Your whole life? Okay, so what started your nerddom? What was your first thing that you remember that was like you're like, oh yeah, like I love this thing. I'm gonna love this forever.
I vividly remember watching the Pokemon show at, like, age 4. I remember I have, like, vivid memories of sitting, like, upstairs in our loft, like, with the big box TV. I guess it
Mhm.
was a small box TV at that time, we didn't have a big one. But with, like, me and my sister, like, sitting on our tiny little, like, child size chairs
Yeah.
with Pokemon on the television.
And I was gonna say to you that I mean that TV was huge, right? F4
Oh,
is
yeah,
like it's a
exactly.
gigantic TV. But so that actually that leads perfectly into what you've been doing recently with your whole entire life when you're not doing literally everything else that you're doing in your life because you're incredibly busy. Is recently you've been streaming and playing Pocopia.
Oh my god, I'm so obsessed with Yeah,
Tell
it's
tell us
such a
about
good
it.
do you want to talk about Pokopia or the stream?
Both. Hey, your vehicle.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I started Twitch streaming back in October, and that has been a whole journey because I wanted to start Twitch streaming back in like 23, and I tried it for like a total of maybe a couple months. But at the time, like it was me and like a couple of friends that would like tune in, and I was streaming like Cult of the Lamb. But it's really hard when like you don't really have a community, and I was really bad at the whole TikTok thing, and it was just me getting a whole bunch of like bots in my chat, and I really didn't enjoy it, and it died really quickly. But the dream was always there. And so now like actually having a community behind me, it's been a whole lot more fun. And right now we're streaming Copia, and is essentially a combination of Pokemon Animal Crossing, Minecraft, and a little bit of Viva Pinata, and I am
That's not what I
obs
expected to hear, by the way. I haven't heard that name in years. Hell yeah.
I never got to play I wanted Viva Pinata so bad. I begged my parents for an Xbox so I could play Viva Pinata, and I never got it. I wanted that game so badly, but I'm obsessed with this game. I cannot stop playing it. Yeah, so that's what I do for my 3 plus hours. Because usually I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep the streams for, like, 3 hours, like, no big deal," and then they go for, like, 4 or 5, and I'm like, oops, guys, I need to go to bed."
Well, yeah, because you literally you are an early sleeper, typically.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm actually 60 years old. In my heart, I'm 60 years old.
Don't let them know that you can but, yeah, I mean, but you're a early sleeper, and I feel like that game has given you so much energy. I feel
Really
like even though
has.
you're streaming, like, even though, like, you're super busy and you're doing all these things, I feel like when you're streaming in general, I feel like you feel relaxed. It comes across
I
as you're relaxed.
yes, and it's really strange to say that because, like, being on camera and, like, being live like that is
Yeah.
not something I would've ever thought would be something I'd be excited to do.
Yeah.
Because, like, acting and being in front of people and I mean, it's not acting, right? But that idea of, like,
Being on,
being
being on.
on, yeah, exactly, was always something that terrified me. I mean, even in the beginning of, like, content creation, like, the idea of, like, turning on that camera and recording something was terrifying, because 'cause you're putting yourself out there for people to essentially judge you, and I've always hated that idea of essentially, like, being perceived in that concept. But, now, like, I look forward to it. I was actually really sad when I went on vacation the other week, and I couldn't stream for, like, a week and a half. I was like, "I miss my people." Like,
Aw,
I miss my community that I've started to form. So, it's really nice to actually, like, have those people behind you and, like, that experience, and I literally cannot believe that I'm actually saying those words right now. Like, it's crazy to
yeah.
think about.
I think it's crazy you said that you were missing streaming while you were on vacation. Girl, go on vacation.
I know.
But yeah, I
It
mean,
was a
I
little
think
bit because I couldn't progress the story, and I needed to progress the story, and I wanted to do that on stream, so, you know.
that's fair. That's also fair. Yeah, really, Keegs, it wasn't that she couldn't stream; it's that she told herself she wouldn't play Pacopio while she's not on stream, except to do some what's the word? Something of life.
I had to, like, terraform. I did, like oh, yeah, quality of life type
Quality of life
situation.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Quality of
yeah.
life stuff. Yeah. So other than that, she's trying not to do it. So she really she's just fiending. That's what it is.
Mhm, mhm.
She's really just fiending. But I think that what I love about your streams, like I said, is like you seem so relaxed. You're genuinely trying to like. It feels like you're just playing with friends. Like like you're playing your video game. I could be like doing whatever I'm doing over here, and it feels like we're just hanging out. Even though you can't hear what I'm saying, I'm just typing you or whatever. But it feels like I'm just hanging out with a friend. And I think those are some of the better streams to watch, where you just feel like you're hanging out.
That's always been the goal for the stream was I'm always okay with being like the background streamer, right? Like
Yeah.
I never want people to feel obligated to have to interact with the stream because like I know sometimes like when I'm watching people stream like I'm fine with lurking. You know, like I
Mm.
want to have something that can be background noise. And so like if I'm just background noise for someone while they need to do their chores or you know like they just need something there while you know as like a body double type of a situation while they
Mhm.
you know clean up or whatever they need to do in life I am totally okay with that. I know some these streamers, you read stories about how they get really mad if people aren't interacting with chat or whatever, and I'm like, I don't care about that. Like the whole
Mhm.
idea is just to allow other people to have a good time while I'm chilling and having a good time. So I'm really glad to hear that you kind of feel like it is giving off that energy. That means that I essentially am doing my job.
Yeah, I think you are, and I really do enjoy it. Mm, it's such a relaxed stream even when you feel like you're being super stressed, like when you were playing Expedition. Like there was a lot of stressful moments from there for
Oh
you
my god,
because
I yelled so much during Expedition.
that's why there's the no cursing option in your point redeem, because there was a lot of cursing because Expedition 33 is very difficult sometimes.
It's so
Parrying is a
stressful.
bitch.
Oh my god, even in story mode, I was like, "What the hell, dude?"
Yeah. I think that you do a really good job of that. And I feel like the community you've built has been super supportive. They really enjoy your energy, your aura. And I'm also enjoying watching you build your aesthetic as you're doing the stream stuff because you've recently added like your be right back, you're starting soon,
Yes,
you know, your
which
lights and stuff like that.
yes, that's the thing that I really like about it is it allows me to be creative. It allows me to kind of use those skills that I got in college that I haven't been able to like really use. And I need to update those because I recently kind of updated the aesthetic of like everything else, but
Hmm.
I need to get around to actually updating like my other like screens, like the be right back and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the goal is to eventually, like, when I have the money to be able to update things, like get better like emotes for everyone and to get better lighting for the background so I'm not like constantly like because it feels a little dark for my lighting. I'm trying to work on
Yeah.
that. But eventually like update the stream more so it's more inviting so people have more to do. But little baby steps, baby steps.
Yeah, and what I will say also is, I think like even not having those things, I think you're doing a great job. I look at someone like Brouhaha, shout out Brew, who it's just them. There's like nothing in the background. You know, they just have their green screen, I think, and they're talking the entire time, right? And I feel like sometimes we get into the thing of like I need this, that, the other thing. I need it to look a specific way, blah blah blah. And sometimes it's just about you, and that's what I feel about you. It's like it's about you. I personally don't care what your background looks like. You know, if you have all the lights, blah blah blah. I just like that you are someone who I feel like I like if I said something, you would say hey, and I feel like you're talking and working the entire time and not like depending on chat. And I think that's sometimes that's something that I have trouble with sometimes, which is why I have a hard time streaming. Is I sometimes feel like I depend on chat to make myself talk, and someone like you, where you're just like you're doing the thing that you're gonna do, and it doesn't matter if anyone's saying a goddamn thing.
It's definitely
Um,
something that I've had to work on a lot.
yeah,
So it's not something that necessarily comes naturally, but I think once you get into the rhythm of it, you can start to figure out how you can just essentially yap over yourself, if
yeah,
that makes
but
sense.
it does, and I think, but what I'm saying is, I think that's so much more important than even the looks of everything and how light or dark or whatever your lighting is.
Yeah.
Like those things can be important, but I feel like you doing what you do is the thing that is harder to fix, right? Like you can fix lighting, you can buy lights, you can do that or this and that and the other thing. It takes so much longer to get to the point where you can feel comfortable doing the thing. And you've come so far into that already in such a short amount of time to the point where like you have a schedule and you have people who show up all the time and you know you have your followers and you built a discord recently, like you're really doing that thing and you're making it so that the community is the most important part, not like the I have the top end everything else.
Yeah. Well,
I think
I'm really glad to hear that. Like that makes me really happy to hear that you that you think that, I guess. Because it's sometimes you get into this funk of like you see other people succeeding and succeeding I guess and when I succeeding is such a broad spectrum, right?
yeah.
But essentially I guess doing better, getting the sponsorships, getting,
Hmm.
the more subscribers, succeeding faster than you. Getting
Yeah.
the Twitch partner, which I'm not going for Twitch partner like anytime soon. And you start to wonder like am I doing something wrong? But like at the end of the day, like I'm just being me and being me is going to get me where it gets me. And if at the end of the day, like the people that I have around me now, if that's all I have, well, then they're the people that want to be here. And like I'm perfectly fine with that because
Wow.
they're the people that wanna support me, and I love that, you know?
You deserve all the followers. You deserve a million followers. I hope you get a million followers.
Oh, thanks, Jose. I
And then you
appreciate
and
you.
then you can stop doing 9 to 5 and you can just do animation all day.
I mean, that's the goal, right? Like,
That's the dream, yeah.
that's the dream. Honestly, like some people are like, "Oh, like, if you become like a full-time content creator, like you're still going to be like editing videos all day and like, doing other things like all day. Like it's not like you just post your content and then chill." Like I'd be fine with that. Oh my God, if I could afford like to actually get like Adobe After Effects, if I could afford to like pay my Canva Pro
Yeah,
and be able to just chill at my computer and actually be able to edit my videos and not have to do it, like, super late at night, and, like, that's what I got to do?
yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah, you get to spend the 8 hours that you were working doing that stuff instead, and then you can actually get, like, a full night of sleep and not
Oh
feel
my
like
god.
you forgot to do this, that, or the other thing and whatever.
I would have time. I
You'd
was
have
like, I
time.
would have time again.
That's crazy. That we gotta figure out
Wild
this in
concept.
the meantime, we gotta figure out this schedule thing because you're doing a lot, and I know you like to keep busy, but damn. But damn.
I know. Like I said, Keegs a year ago, this is a crazy concept for her.
Yeah, but I really am proud of you, and I think that's the most important thing to know is that you're doing such a great job. Not that I'm proud of you. That's not the most important thing to know. The most important thing to know is that you're doing a great job, and that you've really come a long way. And I think it's showing out in the stuff that you're doing. It will it will prove out is what I'm saying.
I mean, that's always the goal, but I keep telling myself, comparison is the thief of joy. That's kind of my motto
Yeah.
right now. Comparison is the thief of joy. I, I'm just
Uh,
going to keep doing what I'm doing,
yeah. Uh,
and eventually, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
yeah. Editor's note. The most important thing to know is that Jace is proud of you. Um,
Oh, okay, good, 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 good.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I really cared about. As long as Jace is proud of me, then that's all that really matters.
Everything else doesn't matter. That's the most important thing. But we've been talking for a little while. Editor note, good. We've been talking for a little while. I feel like we could talk forever. Like it's always nice talking to you. I really enjoy. Again, I reiterate, Keegs and I know each other in real life as well, and we talk a lot. So you would think that maybe we'd be sick of talking to each other, but really, I really enjoy talking to you.
I know I feel so bad. I feel like we've been yapping about like only two things this entire stream, and I'm or stream this entire podcast, and I'm like, oops. I'm like, I feel like you had so many other things to talk about. I'm like, oh
no.
no.
No, it's okay. No, we like it gives us an option to be able to have another one if you're up to it at some point, if you want
That's
to come back
true.
on. Though I will say this is also the second time you've been on,
This
just
is the
not with
second time I've
me.
been on.
Just
You're
not with me.
correct.
The first time was with Rachel,
Yes.
Beacon's Hope as we've dubbed her. The first time was with Rachel. So I didn't even so we scheduled this out months ago. The first time you were on was with Rachel. I should be because I love Rachel. She's the best, and y'all did a great job with that. If you haven't listened to the Lorwyn card review stuff, go listen to it because Keegs, Monica, Lil, and Rachel did a fantastic job yapping and talking and having a good time with Lorwyn, which obviously Keegs loves because Lorwyn. It's Lorwyn. What do you want to do?
I love Laura. I mean, that's not something we didn't even touch on.
Yeah, we
Is
didn't even get to touch on that.
I love Lorwyn, but
Actually,
I
take the floor real quick on it. Talk about Lorwyn.
okay, okay, I love Lauren. I love Lauren. I was so excited for Lauren. I hyped up Lauren so much, and then I'm gonna be so honest with you. I'm actually a little sad about Lauren now. Like thinking back on it, like now that I've had time to process Lauren and like look at Lauren and really think about it, I'm actually kind of disappointed because I feel like it is a set that is very much reliant upon itself and is very hard to integrate into other decks, other playstyles.
Fair.
Like the elves work if you are doing any type of like graveyard mechanics, but
Yeah.
there's very few elves that you can work into like other elf decks. Um
Yeah.
I feel like they're fine if you're doing like a limited type of situation, specifically
Hmm.
with Lorwyn, but you have like Mercant, which oh my god, Mercant, I love Mercant. You have oh my god, there's another one. It is the Mercant something that like gives all
Oh,
elves
loyalist.
+1/+1. Mercant's Loyalist,
Loyalist.
thank you.
Yeah.
Like that one's great to put in a deck, and then you have oh my, I'm gonna blank on all the names now, but it's the
You're okay.
one that you can convoke, and then it practically gives everything heroic intervention.
Oh, I don't remember the
Oh,
name of it
Safe
right
Right.
now.
The Safe
Safe
Right,
right.
yeah,
Safe
yeah,
right.
like, that one's great. But, like, a lot of them kind of fall flat, and then, like, the merfolk, they're great, like, within Lorwyn, but it's so hard to actually take them out of Lorwyn because of the color identity, because
Yeah.
so far, most of the merfolk have been, Simic, and, you know, these don't fit into that color group. I think there's, like, one commander that you could possibly, like, throw them into.
Yeah.
Uh, so just little things like that. Like, the goblins are fine. I think the goblin support, like, works out.
Goblins just be goblin, yeah.
The goblins be goblins, that's
Shout
fine,
out
that's great.
shout out John Goblikon from Neko Goblikon.
I think there's a couple of good cards, like Gathering Stone. I am supporting Gathering Stone till the day I die. I think that is a great support piece for an artifact. But like the set as a whole, I just feel like it's kind of like lackluster, especially when you smash it between Avatar and
Mhm.
TMNT and the power cards that we got in those sets.
Yeah, yeah, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
I liked Lorwyn. I think the limited environment was really great because like you said, it all worked together. It's similar to Avatar in my opinion. Like it all worked together in and of itself. Though I will say I have a Niv Mizzet Guild Pack deck that cares about that cares about two color stuff, and the vivid stuff in this set really great.
Oh, it's
Also,
great for that.
yeah. Also, shout out to the Don's Light Archer. Elf with Reach is always really nice. So that's
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's just because I build mono elves in arena constantly to win games because I'm a bastard. Okay, so Keegs, we're gonna move to our final few questions here. You kind of alluded to them earlier. I think I'm legally obligated to say these are the hardest questions that you'll ever hear. That's not actually true because they're not that hard, and you know most of them already. So, what is your favorite card in Magic? I know you mentioned it earlier, but I'll let you mention it again.
Yeah, so I think my favorite card, and this is purely based on vibes. Like I mean, and it's a good card. Like let's be
Yeah,
honest, it's a good
good
card,
card.
but like
It's a good card.
it's not like the most like flavorful card in all of Magic, and that is Donato Giancola's Demonic Tutor. Just
Yeah,
because it's so pretty, it's so well done.
it's
Every
a
single
it's a,
portion of that card.
it's really good. It's really good. I looked at it again because whenever I think of Demonic Tutor, I think of the JP, and then I think of the oh my god, the rock band that just came out. The set. Oh my gosh, Jason Ashcraft would kill me for not remembering this. Remember the secret layer that just came out for the rock band, Iron Maiden, the Iron
Oh
Maiden one,
yes.
the Iron Maiden one. Yeah, don't
Oh
cut that.
wait, there wasn't
That's
a
a
Demonic
monitor.
Tutor in that one. Are you
What,
talking
what
about
which
the
one are you
one that
thinking
came
about?
out for Kieran Yenner?
Let me see.
It's the very, like, romanticy one.
That might be the one. Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. I thought the
The
one
one with
came out with
the
the.
there is a it's another, like, demon-looking one.
Yeah, it is a demon looking one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
a
one. The
Kieran
secret layer
Yenner.
one. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I
Um,
do own that one, and it's so beautiful in person.
yeah. Do you? Oh, I'm jealous.
That's
I'm
my
so
that was my very first demonic tutor. I was
the one
so
thing
lucky to get that.
the one thing I need to do is still like actually see your cards at some point because like in person because you have a lot of really nice cards that I'm jealous of and I'm not saying that they'll disappear. I'm just saying that they may not be there after I leave.
To lock
Joking.
them up, got it.
I'm joking. I'm
Super
joking.
glue my binders.
Yeah, super glue your binders. What is your favorite deck of all time that it doesn't have to be one that you have active and as we talked with someone last week, it also doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be Magic if you have a deck from a different card game that you were interested in.
I was really thinking about this one before we jumped on here to record because
Yeah.
this is a tough question for me because I think my favorite there's a favorite deck that I play and then like a favorite deck that I have that like I don't play as much, but like I just
They
like
both.
it. Okay, so my favorite deck that I play right now that I've built, like I'm really proud of because like her win ratio is phenomenal and like
Insane.
that's the first deck that I've built that like I'm like really proud of, and that's Yigra, of course. It's because I wanted to build
Eager
her
is
for
so
so
good.
long, and I feel like I did a really good job with her. Considering it, like I didn't like I built that deck, like I did a lot of work in like trying to figure out what to put into it and how I wanted the win cons to be in that deck. So love Yigra. But I think one of my favorite decks that like I've worked on and just like blinged out and is like technically like my pet deck is Ridden Seri. And the
Yeah.
concept behind that deck is it's not a good deck. It was never supposed to be a good deck. It's just supposed to be play all the pretty cat cards and hope you don't get board wiped, but you always get board wiped
You
because it's
always
red.
yeah.
Yeah, so like you don't ever get to see your pretty cat cards for very long, but essentially it's just every single card in that deck is supposed to have either a cat or a dog art. As many as possible, I should say. So even like the rampant growth is the one that has, oh my god, Lord Winggrace, like, it has Lord
Yeah.
Winggrace on it and things like that. So, I mean, I like it. I'm at the point where I don't play it a lot because, like, it is really hard to play just because, like, the ramp on it is not great, and, like, the win cons on it aren't great. Like, a lot of people, like, will say, like, Rin and Seri is not, like, your win con, like, Jetmir is your win con,
Of
or,
course,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
Balin.
or like yeah, Felidar Sovereign is like, your win con. Like
Yeah.
other things in that deck are your win con, not necessarily your commander. So it's harder to
Yeah.
win with that deck. So I'm thinking about taking out a lot of those cards and putting them into, oh my god, I'm gonna like Arbo?
Or yeah.
Yeah,
The
the Eminence
omniscience
one?
commander. Eminence, yeah.
Yeah, it's so but I don't know, we'll see. That's a possibility.
The one thing I will say that's hard for Ren and Seri too is it's too good for like a casual 2 game, and it's too
Mhm.
slow for what 3 has become.
Exactly, and, like, I love Renansari, like, it's such a cute card, it has such a good
Yeah.
concept behind it, it's just, like you said, it's too slow for a 3, everyone knows what you're going to do, so you're
Yep.
immediately a target, and
Yep.
you can't get anything on the field, and the
Yeah.
fact that, like, its tap ability only targets one thing, so
Yeah.
it's not even if it allows you to, like, blow up, like, the whole board, essentially, like, attack everyone, you'd be fine. If it was, like, all opponents, I think that'd be so much better than, it what does it say? Like, 1 no, it doesn't say opponent, I think it says, like and it's not even permanent, it's just something. I don't remember what the exact, like, wording is. But when you tap, you can only do damage to, like, 1 individual, whether it's,
Uh,
like,
yeah,
creature
damage to
or
any
opponent.
target equal to the number of
Target, yeah.
dogs you control, and then life
There we go.
life gain equal to the cats. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes it really hard. Unless you find a way to untap it, I guess. But that's then you're taking away from the flavor, which is
Yeah,
what you're going for anyway.
exactly. So
So yeah, I get that. That's super frustrating. And I actually I love watching that deck do the thing, but then I also have to be like I have to be a responsible Magic player and kill the
yes.
dogs and cats because or else I'll lose the game immediately. So it does make it really really hard because
So
like I said,
sad.
if you're playing a 2, that deck is so like too good. It's too good for a 2 because
Mhm.
it goes so fast. And then if you're playing 3, everyone has the board wipes and the removal and the whatever they need to turn off the ability to be able to do the thing. So it's
Yeah.
hard.
Yep.
It's really
It's
hard.
hard.
Yeah. What is the card you would say that you play most often? It doesn't have to be like a colorless card like Soul Rings in every deck or whatever, but like if you were to play blue, this goes in every blue deck. If you were to play green, this goes in every green deck, whatever.
Ooh, I kinda forgot about this question.
Good.
I know, now I gotta think on my feet.
I
Oh,
would say
goodness.
while you're thinking for me, because I'm not allowed to say Elixir of Mortality or Haunted Cloak anymore. Talk to Jace.
Really?
Yeah, because I told Greenie she couldn't say Winota, and Jace told me I can't say Elixir of Mortality anymore. So for me in green, it's abundance. It's 2 and a
Okay.
green or 2 and 2 green. If you were to draw a card instead, you can say land or non-land, and then flip over cards until you reveal whatever you chose. So if you're stuck on mana, you can just say land, and then you can get all the lands you need. If you have too much lands, you can say non-land, and then just get the other stuff that's not lands. So you're skipping pockets, which is really
I love
nice.
abundance. I have abundance in Bello.
It's so
I
good.
so good when you're able to actually get that out.
Yeah, it's so good. And then like I don't know, I like putting Minds Aglow in every deck that I possibly can, but not everyone loves Join Forces, so whatever.
I'm
For
really trying to think about this one.
That's okay. Do you want to come back to it?
Possibly,
Okay.
I think the one card so if I'm playing green, let's say I'm playing green because I feel like I have
Mhm.
this in a handful of my green decks.
Okay.
And not all of them, but most. If I'm playing like a big stompy green deck, I
Okay.
love putting in Fanatic of Ronus.
Oh, Fnatic Rose is so good.
Yeah, I feel like it
Fnatic Rose is
because
so good.
most of my green decks end up being either like a big stompy or I'm playing like some type of a weird like token gen deck. So
Yeah.
like if I'm playing like the token, then I feel like this doesn't really like work, and then it ends up being probably like a Land of War Elves or something. But
Fine.
that's not as fun. But if I'm playing like Big Stompy Green, then like Fanatic of Rhodas is always in there, and I love him. He's so
Yeah.
much fun.
And the fact that he can, if he dies, you can just eternalize him, and then he himself makes himself be able to tap for 4.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fanatic Aronis is a good choice. I like that a lot. I I I have a side question now. What is your thoughts on, like, even in the time that you've been in Magic, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I think we only touched on it. Power creep as has come to be.
So, I mean, I haven't been playing Magic long enough, I think, to really understand power creep to its fullest.
Okay.
But in the little bit of time that I have been playing Magic, I feel like I've even seen the power creep just in a year,
Yeah.
which is crazy to say considering how little I've actually been in the game. But I mean, granted, like I like looking back and like seeing all the old cards and like trying to figure out like what can I put into this deck that is, different. That is, not something that you normally see. And that's harder to do, I think, when you've been in the game for as little of a time as I am, because you really have to
Yeah.
like go digging. But I'm not a fan of the power creep. I'm really not. It makes it really hard for like the older cards to be viable.
Hmm.
And I like a lot of like the older cards. I think they're really fun. I think they have, a lot of good potential to them, but then you get the power creep and it's like, okay, well this would have been great like 2 years ago. Can't play it now.
Yeah.
Or I mean you can, but like it's going to be slow.
Yeah.
And I think it just depends on what bracket you're trying to like play in,
Yeah.
but
Like,
it's
even
it's
even Ren and
it's just not
Siri.
fun.
Exactly. Like, even Ren and Siri is from M21, so from
Mhm.
2000, and that card has been power crept into hell, like you said, with Jetmir
Yeah.
and Balin. Balin's not even that old, let alone that. And at some point, maybe Balin will be power crept into hell. So,
Yeah. Well, I
yeah,
mean
it's
when you
hard.
think about like Vivi, like you said like it's just
Jesus Christ.
I mean, like, legitimately, you play against a VV and you just sit there and you kind of roll your eyes because you
Yeah.
know it's happening.
Same thing with Nadu
Um,
when that came out. You're just like,
mhm,
ugh.
yeah. So it's like it's gonna happen. I think to the extent that it's happening, the rate that it's happening, it is annoying
Mhm.
because it's like I want to play these cards that I have essentially. And you know that within like 6 months, you're gonna have to switch them out for something else. Like I'm
Yeah.
looking at the TMNT cards. I was like, well, some of these are already better than what I have in Yigra. I'm not
Yep.
switching out what I have in Yigra. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
gonna do it.
it's crazy. It's crazy how it works out. Okay. Well, again, we could talk about about issues with that for hours. I did that to myself here. Um, what is a card you think people should play more often, or maybe a play style mechanic? What is something you think people should play more often in Magic?
So Defense of the Heart, I think, is a card that people should play more often. I don't see it
Agree.
played that often. Maybe it is.
I don't see
I
it either.
really
I see Jason and you do it. That's about it.
Hey, I'll take that. I love Defense of the Heart. And now, granted, like, I mean, it's out for a turn or maybe more. Like, it's a prime target to get blown up. But I've only had it blown up on me once. And that was actually when I was in Texas and I was playing with Vic. Shout out, Vic.
Sick.
But he convinced my husband to blow up my Defense of the Heart right before it was my turn because my husband had a Haywire Might out. And I was so mad.
Yeah, that's tough.
I was gonna do it. I was gonna combo off next turn. I was like, damn it.
Now I have to do it the normal way.
But I have to do it the normal way. But I love Defense of the Heart because most of the time people aren't going to deal with the enchantment. They're going to want to see what you put out on the field, but then they have to deal with two things that you put out on the field.
That you
Like
can't counter. That you can't
that you
counter
can't.
because
Yeah,
you had to
exactly.
take care of the spell.
Yeah, so I love that card. I think the other card I'm gonna say two. I'm gonna mess up with your
No,
question here.
you're
I'm gonna
okay.
give you
No,
another
you're
one.
good.
The other one that I wouldn't have normally said until it got reprinted. And now I think that a lot more people should try it because it's so dirt cheap. And I'm gonna mess myself up on this because now I'm gonna give everyone, the inside scoop. Cream
Mhm.
of the crop.
That that's
I
why that's why we got in early on it. We we
That's why
we
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 got in
we
early on it.
invested. We invested.
I love Cream of the Crop. I had proxy diversion into my dino deck. Every single dino deck should have Cream of the Crop in it. If it's not in there, you're making a huge mistake because it doesn't mill you out. everything goes to the bottom. You get to choose what stays on top. So essentially, like if you have any type of card draw, like you know what you're drawing next. You could, it's kind of like Gathering Stone, but it's cheaper than Gathering Stone. I really like Cream of the Crop. I stand by it.
I think that's a good shout. Cream of the crop. You got me into cream of the crop because I hadn't known it because again too many cards in Magic just as a whole.
Yeah.
But
Well, and
you
it was
got
an
you
old card.
yeah right and I still didn't know so like shout out to you for knowing and then getting me in on the ground floor and then we'll profit together
Yeah.
between that and all my elixir of immortalities that will soon become much more expensive than they are.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right, last question for you, and I think most important for you as a person because you have so many of these. What kind of goals and hopes do you have for Magic, for Wizards, for Hasbro, and then what hopes and goals do you have for yourself as it comes to streaming or content or just you as an individual?
This is this is a loaded question.
It is,
For first for like Wizards and Hasbro, I need them to stop being so money hungry, which is hard to say for, a company in this capitalist society. But dropping, I mean, I know they keep saying like, "Oh, it's only 7 sets this year. We're going back to 6." Even 6 I feel like is too much.
it used to be four.
I think we need to go back to 4. I really do. Not only because, like, everything that's going on in the world right now, like inflation and just everything else, spending money on Magic is getting incredibly hard to justify.
Yeah,
When gas is almost, I mean, it's what, $4 a gallon here, $8 a gallon other places.
yeah,
Who knows how long that's going to stay like that and when it stops if it will even drop, how far it will
yeah.
drop. It gets hard to justify, spending $5 a pack on cardboard. So I really hope that they take into consideration where people's minds are at with their priorities on spending money. And it's not that they need to necessarily lower their prices on packs, even though, I mean, that would be nice.
That'd be
But I
great.
think printing less sets is a way to do it. I think they also need to figure out what the hell is their issue with their production line, whether it is the issues that are with the quality control of the cards themselves or the quality control of getting the incorrect cards in packs. Absolutely insane. It doesn't give me any reason to go out and buy cards when I don't know if the cards that I get are either going to be the cards that I want or if they're even going to be printed correctly.
Yeah,
So I think they just need to get their shit together, personally.
agreed.
Also hope that we see a better approach to how they want to get minorities into Magic, whether it's, gender minorities or racial minorities. Because we talk a lot about women in Magic, right? And that's something we didn't really get to touch on. But something I think that's really important that we kind of miss is that there's a huge racial minority gap in Magic as well. And we like to talk a lot about, oh, well, women in Magic, we need to get more women in Magic. I'm like, Yeah, but also, like, let's talk about everyone else."
Yeah,
Because Magic is just a bunch of white cis men. Like, that is the main people that play Magic, and we need to just see more of everyone. I mean, that's how
yeah,
you make a game better, is by bringing in, different ideas and, different ways of seeing things. So hopefully they get a better, and I know that they have their diversity group there, right? We've heard people talk about, that, and I know they've made some statements. So hopefully we see something come out from that about how they plan to get more, diverse individuals into the game. And I mean, I know that we're probably going to see some romantasy secret layers, and we're going to see the K-pop demon hunter secret layer, but that's not ultimately how you get people to stay. That's how you sell product, but that's not how you get people into the game to stay in the game.
right. I
So
agree.
I think that covers everything from the Hasbro perspective.
Yes.
From a personal perspective, I'm really excited to keep pushing forward with Heart State Magic and kind of see how that continues to shift and grow. We're working right now on contacting some other fem groups around Ohio to kind of collaborate with them because they're in with a lot of other LGSs already. And hopefully, we can set up a lot more dates here in the summer and in the fall so we can have more like introductory magic events or other commander nights. I really want to have like a craft events where we all can like get together and make like, top loaders, like decorate top loaders or
Be
decorate
awesome.
or deck boxes. Like I love that idea. I've wanted to do that for so long and this would kind of give me an excuse to do it. I think it brings a little bit more like girly pop into the game.
Hell yeah.
So I'm excited to see how Heart State Magic grows and just kind of reach out into, that demographic and bring it local and meet more friends. For the content, I am just excited to, I think, shift a little bit. I'm shifting out of, I think, the magic content a little bit. I still really enjoy the game, but I'm not enjoying the company. And it's hard to support and make content about a essentially a company that you don't fully support what they're doing right now. So I mean,
Yeah.
if Hasbro gets better, if Wizards of the Coast gets better, then maybe it'll shift a little bit more. But I think I'm really enjoying the Twitch streams right now. So I think I'm gonna shift content a little bit more towards trying to push people into that space because there's more of a community there for me.
Yeah.
So, trying to drive people towards, the Discord, trying to drive people towards Twitch. But I'm still gonna make content about magic. I'm slowly getting into more like TCGs. Like one of my friends is teaching me sorcery, so
Mhm.
maybe a little bit of sorcery content. I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Sorcery's really fun
Um,
if you haven't tried it. Sorcery's
yeah,
great.
sorcery's really fun.
Also,
Um,
Keegs is really good at it. She kicked my butt.
I barely like,
She
and
stomped
I
me in the ground.
also said friend was helping.
Nope, nope. You take all
Said
the
friend
credit.
was helping because
Nope,
I
you
was
nope.
struggling.
You took all you take all the credit. You kicked my butt.
Okay, we'll argue about that later.
I'm giving you the
Um,
credit. Accept it.
but so yeah, I think I'm in a little bit of like a weird impasse with like the content where like I still
Yeah,
want to talk a lot about magic, but like I'm trying to figure out how I want to do it. Because
yeah,
the idea there is still like to bring people into the game and like help new players and convince players to join. But how do you do that when Wizards is doing what they're doing right now, with all the
yeah,
quality control issues and things like that? So
yeah.
yeah.
I think it makes a lot of sense, and I'm really excited for to see where your journey takes you. I like I said, you're having a ton of fun, and it comes across with your Pocopia stuff, and I can't wait to see what else you do with all of that. I know you've got a lot of love for Magic, even if it's very difficult right now. It is something that helped you get to the journey where you are today, but it doesn't take away from the fact that things kind of stink at points right now. And I think I respect you being able to admit that and not just be like, yeah, Magic's really great. Oh yeah, they had all these issues, but I think one of my favorite things about you is you are very honest with how you feel about things, and you're very much an advocate for people who maybe can't or don't have the willingness, whether it be being scared or whatever, to voice their concerns. You talked about it here about marginalized people not being as prominent or being welcomed at times. I've had those issues too. I really respect you for being able to do that. I really respect you for your viewpoints, and you're a really great person. And I really just hope the best for you and everything that you're doing.
Thanks, man. It's
Yeah,
it's one of those things. It's like I just want everyone to be able to enjoy the game that I love. And I still have a huge love for the game even if I don't necessarily love the company that produces it right now.
yeah,
And it's something that I struggle with. And I don't want to get too off topic here, but something that
yeah.
I
You're good.
struggle with
You're
too
good.
is, it's like I am just I'm just a white woman. Now granted, I am a white queer woman, so I could talk to that aspect, but
Yeah,
it's you have to raise up the voices of those around you who can speak to their lived experiences, right? And I think that's what we need to get better about as a community, especially those of us in that content creator space, because those marginalized voices, especially those people of color, do not get pushed out nearly as much as the white people in the
Mhm.
space. And that's not fair. It's not fair at all. So that's me on my soapbox talking about how we need to get better as a community, I guess.
I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you said. Honestly, Keegs, this has been absolutely awesome. Like I said, I love talking to you, and I'm glad we were finally able to schedule this out. Is there anything you want to shout out? Anything you want to plug coming up, or your socials and things like that?
Yeah, so I guess I'll plug all the socials first. You can find me over at TikTok and Instagram and Twitch and even Blue Sky a little bit at Keegs MTG. I believe all of those have an underscore except for Blue Sky, which doesn't allow underscores for whatever reason.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Also, the Discord is now available. If you want to come be a part of our little community that we're building, I have the link in my link tree. The link tree you can find on any of those platforms, honestly. It's called
It'll be
Keeks Corner.
it'll be in the description.
Perfect. Beautiful. And then where you can find me next, I'm going to be at SCG Con in Cincinnati. I don't know if this episode will be out by then. Okay, cool. So I'll be at SCG Con Cincinnati and then maybe for a day at Gen Con. That's like up in the air, but I will just essentially post whenever I know whatever I'm doing. It's really, I'm just kind of taking it day by day. And then, oh, and I'm also going to be at the Pokemon Fossil exhibit for its opening day. So if anyone is there, also let me know. I'd love to meet you.
Yeah, and bring her a birthday gift when you go.
It will almost be our birthday. Be very
Well,
close.
yeah,
But
but
that is a
and
birthday
it's
event. That's what I'm doing.
yeah. If they're seeing you there, I imagine they're not going to see you on your birthday. So bring a birthday gift.
That is not necessary.
It's not necessary. Bring a birthday gift. Keeks, thank you so much. Thank you so much again for being here. We really appreciate your time today.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I've had a blast, and I am sorry for yapping so much.
No, thank you for yapping. I appreciate it. And everyone, thanks for listening to us. We really appreciate it. Again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comments, share with all your friends so you can share all your amazing, fantastic love for these creators as much as I love them because I think people like Keegs are fantastic. And if nothing else, please remember that when despair tries to win, counter with hope. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, y'all.